Welcome back for another FSD video here. We are going to go to the airport from my house, and I'm running behind today, so I will not be giving FSD a long time to park today. It's going to have to figure it out quickly or I'm going to take over, but we are parking at the long-term parking ramp at the airport, so I previously tried this. I forget which FSD version, but it's been, probably something in the 14.2 time frame, and it struggled quite a bit. It actually couldn't see one of the arms that showed the ramp was closed. So we'll see how it does this time around with 14.3.5. I'm going to see actually if I can do a different route here. It doesn't make sense for us to just go down Cretan just to go down to get back on Cleveland, which makes zero sense. So again, right off the bat, more weirdness from navigation. Nothing new there. This isn't unique to this build. It's just a Tesla problem overall. So. But my drive this morning that I did already to the gym was really, really good. So no real issues. If you didn't see that video, I will put a link in the description below. But that's a pretty straightforward route, but it's one I do every single day. So it's pretty easy to detect differences in behavior just because I know exactly where the problem areas are, and it's pretty easy to test. So this one is going to be a bit more challenging. Not necessarily to get to the airport. It's pretty much a straight shot. We're going to pretty much stay on this road basically until Edgecombe Road, and then once we go to Edgecombe, we will then get onto MN5, which is a highway. Now, with the highway, historically, it's been challenging for FSD builds pretty much up until 14.3. And there's a very small on-ramp and just a little bit of hesitation there, again, for those blowing flags in the wind. And right now the car is slowing now for the speed sign. So it knows there's a sign there and it's slowing to read it. And now the city again should be trimming the trees around it so you can actually see it. But that's the most St. Paul thing ever. If you don't live here or live around here, that's something the city would be typical for. They don't do a great job with the roads here and signage as well. So not surprised. But the car was, I always wondered why it was slowing there. Now I know. 14.3.4 did the same thing. And I thought it was a bug at first, but now I kind of understand. So it must have some map data knowing there's a sign there. And it's expecting it, and it can kind of see part of it, but obviously it can't see it really until the last second. But again, this route will take us pretty much right to the airport then, and then I am going to change our parking settings here at the airport, so I'll just go up here. Let's see if I can pick. I might just pick and reroute to the MSP airport here. Let's see. All right, so we want to go to the... I'll just do the blue ramp today. Okay. All right, now we're good. So typically I park on the top of the blue ramp or red, blue or red. Red's usually my go-to. Usually you have a better chance of finding charging there, but we'll just have to see today. I'm not counting on us finding any charging this time around. We're just too late in the travel day here. And especially being in Monday, it's usually pretty busy at MSP. So the EV charging spots now don't last very long. There's a ton of EVs in the Twin Cities now, especially a lot of Teslas. So it is what it is. They're supposed to be building more, and they're supposed to be charging folks down the road. That was something they told me over a year ago, but it's still not been done yet. So we'll sit to see kind of what their plans are long term. But I love airport charging. It's great to have the charging there. Personally, I would prefer to just include it in the parking rate, but that's just me. Okay, we have a pedestrian trying to cross here. We are slowing for him. That was the right move. This crosswalk here is treacherous for pedestrians. It's pretty much blind until you get into the intersection or the crosswalk, just because of parked traffic there. I really think they should put some sort of lights or something like there for that crossing, just because I've seen near collisions with pedestrians a ton of times, especially when eating at the restaurant back there. So, yeah, it's one of those things where FSD does a great job there. It's always properly cautious. We've had folks dart out in front of us there. Never had any issues. The car is very quick to respond, especially with 14.3. But again, one of those issues where human drivers definitely, struggle with. So. And this is another intersection where I would say, version 13 sometimes, and some of the version 14 builds would just excessively hesitate, especially when traffic was coming up from our left-hand side here. You probably won't be able to see it too, but there's a really cool Cybertruck down to our left. I know exactly the company that owns that too. Pretty sweet. Got a cool wrap on it. But anyways, that intersection back there was always a problem when folks were coming up to our left and right. Especially with some of the earlier 14 builds. Haven't really seen any problems since, but it's usually those situations where it's pretty much a tie. The humans will always usually try to get us to go, and obviously because it's hard to see their hand gestures in, through the glass and everything. The car doesn't always necessarily go. It always kind of defaults to waiting. So sometimes we've gotten into those standoff situations, but in the last few builds, it's been better for the most part, but 14.3.4, I had a few instances of that as well. Again, it's just trying to be courteous, but sometimes the courteous thing is just to go. And those issues, I'd say overall, though, could be completely eliminated if, FSD was just a little bit more confident at those, right, and a little less nice. And I do think, I know that sounds contradictory. We want FSD to be a courteous driver, but I feel like once, this technology is well known about, I think human drivers on the road are going to game the system, and they're going to kind of bully the system. So at some point, it's got to be a bit more assertive. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how that shakes out over the next, 5-10 years. But at some point, it will need to be more assertive. I think of situations like in rideshare situations for robotaxi, where you have maybe a crazy person trying to stop a car so they can harm the people inside, right? You can't just bring the car to a stop, and you're going to have to make evasive maneuvers around the person. You're going to have to be able to kind of get out of there, those situations. So those edge cases are going to be, I would say, more common than people expect, especially in some of these cities in America that aren't super safe. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out. But I think about that daily, and I think about it with that stop sign, intersection example, right, where again the car sometimes just needs to be a little bit more assertive, but I understand why it is the way it is right now. They're erring on the side of caution with safety, but yeah, sometimes I would like it to be a bit more assertive, even in the standard profile. So all right, so we are only a few minutes from the airport now. It's a very quick ride to the airport, and honestly, if as much as I will kind of critique it, how it does in the parking ramps, it's a very tricky ramp, even for human drivers. Once unsupervised FSD is a thing, assuming that this car does get it and I'm able to use it, this is a great use case where I will basically have the car drop me off at the front door of the airport and then just drive back home. It's a 20-minute trip, end to end. So, I don't even think it needs to have the intelligence, ironically enough, to go in the parking ramp. It's only because it doesn't allow itself to basically drive itself home do I have to park it. So in the future, I would love for the car to go back into my garage where it's nice and safe and sound. We have some work to be done to get to that point, but that's my goal long term. And then it's kind of funny because I don't need a taxi then. As cool as Cybercab and all those things are, I can have my car basically be my chauffeur. And I think that's the best setup, at least for me anyways. Assuming obviously there's some nuances where the car could get in an accident and all those things without you being there and you're trying to catch a flight and all that. But for how easy this drive is, the variables are pretty slim. So it would be cool. Then I could avoid paying parking altogether, and it would just be more economical for my company where I'm being, obviously compensated to travel here today for work. It's more economical for everybody involved. So, Okay, it looks like we have some lane closures here. Car is doing a good job of slowing. With the speed zone change up here, it is going to a 30 here. And again, I would like to see the car, just in general, FSD, be better about slowing in construction zones, especially when you're on the highway and it drops down to 55. I have seen that be a problem. Okay, so let's see if it gets the on-ramp right here. We have to basically stay more to the right up here. We should not be, and there it goes, perfect. And then we do have to go through a pay terminal to scan our credit card here. So we'll see if it gets close enough for me to reach. Before I've had to like open the door because it doesn't get close enough. It's harder with the Model S too because you sit lower in the car. So we'll have to see if they've made any improvements there. Okay, so now we're gonna have to, let's see, pick an open spot. Now there's a bunch of them to pick from here. I'm guessing it's just gonna go right where that car is, just to keep things simple. Yeah, the model loves to just kind of follow the lead driver if there's the one there, which is fine. So, all right, so we got to come to a complete stop right here, and that is actually perfect. So let's put that card in there. Right. All right. Look at that. That was perfect. That was the best approach of that pay terminal I've ever seen. That was really, really good. I didn't have to reach at all. So now here's going to be the issue. The car definitely likes to go a little bit slow in these ramps. And let's see which side it picks. It's going to pick to the right here. Thankfully, the human driver is going to our left. All right, let's see how it does. I'm just going to bring up my cameras so I can see. It sometimes likes to hug the right. And as much as I want a new front fascia, I don't want to get a new one that way. All right, so we got to make an immediate right turn. Let's see if it's going to read the signs, and it does. That's awesome. Now, it's pretty full here, so we might have to go up to another floor. Let's see what we do. More than likely, I'll just end up taking over, but I'll let it seek for just a minute. My plane board's here in like 10 minutes, so, but I'm pre-checking all that, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay, so somebody's found a spot there. So there might be some parking spots available. So normally, like, when you get, this is the contextual bit here where the model just doesn't quite understand, you know, the nuances of parking here. Obviously, like, you know, as a human, you know exactly, like, all right, it's going to be, you know, later in the day, Monday, it's going to be full. You're going to have to go up to the higher floors to find a spot. And that's just the way it is. So, you know, if I gave it time, there's no doubt it would have parked correctly. Unfortunately, I'm just short on time today, so I'll let it go and see if it finds a spot over here, and then I'll cut it off. And we will try again another time. I wish you could pre-program the floors, and that's just a navigation thing, right? There's just no data to say like 7th floor, set preferences. So we'll let it go all the way to the end here, and then if it doesn't find a spot, then we will try again another time. But it was cool to see it actually navigate the ramp today. I mean, obviously it just went to one of the earlier floors, but it didn't try to go through any gates or anything crazy like that. So a bit better than my last attempt, which is great to see. Yeah, and it looks like there might be a spot next to this truck. Nope, it's a tiny car. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut FSD off here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to another floor. So I'll probably leave you guys there. I'm going to try to find some additional parking here and get this thing parked and get on my flight. So appreciate you watching, though. I think it was good to see the car can now get up to the pay terminal properly. We might try it again when I leave the airport when I'm back later this week, but we'll just have to wait and see kind of how the week shakes out and what my schedule looks like then. So, but anyways, appreciate you watching as always, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks again.